If you dip me in your rats, I get your pussy ass stuck up. When you touch down in my hood, no, that tour life ain't good. Catch me down in MIA, and that heat game on wood. With that Puma life on my feet, like that little engine I could. Boy, I slide down in your block, bike on 12 o'clock. And they be throwing deuces on the same nigga they watch. And I'm the king of my city, cause I'm still calling them shots. And these lanes talking that bullshit, the same niggas that flop. I'm the same nigga from Birch Street with them neck braids that lock. The same nigga that came up and I had to wait for my spot. And these niggas hating on me, hoes waiting on me. Still on that hood shit, my Rolls Royce on E, they gon' remember me. I say remember me. So much money at your friends turn to your enemies. And when this beef, I turn my enemies to memories. With them bricks, they go for 40, ain't no 10 the key. Hold up, broke nigga turn rich. Love the game like Mitch. And if I leave, you think dumb pretty hoes gon' still suck my dick. It was something about that rollie when it first touched my wrist. Had me feeling like that dope boy when he first touched that brick. I'm gone. Woo! Ain't this what they been waiting for? You ready? I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that, to shine like this. In a matter of time I spent on some locked up shit in the back of the paddy wagon, cuffs locked on wrist. See my dreams unfold, nightmares come true. It was time to marry the game, and I said, yeah, I do. If you want it, you gotta see it with a clear eye view. Got shorty, she try and bless me like I said I chew, like a nigga sneeze.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. It is the XCFL coming at you. We are live with Van's league-wide user rankings. This has become a tradition. I think the last three Maddens and college football, we threw it in there.
Yeah, three Maddens in a college. Yep.
Yeah, I'm your host, Nick. I got Quacks with me. I got Van with me, of course. Me and Quacks will play devil's advocate to all of Van's rankings while Van explains how he feels about each one of you. Van, do you want to kind of introduce a
Yeah.
little bit what kind of, yeah, go ahead and you can, well, I'll let you kind of take over for a bit here.
Well, and I mean, for the people who maybe are unfamiliar with this process or whatever, there's a major disclaimer here. The reason I think why these rankings have stuck, why people like them, and why I continue to do them and have fun with them is it's not about how good of a player you are. It's not about how active you are. It's a combination of all of it. So it's really a league-wide value trophy. So if you see your ranking and you're not in the top 10, but you're a top 10 user, that's two parts of it. The rest is activity, it's adaptability, all that stuff. So I mean, there's a lot of different categories. So just take that into account when you look at your rankings.
Yeah, and it's Van obviously plays some people more than others. He sees some content, not all. It's different things that this is Van's perspective. What the one year we did it, we had the users kind of rank everybody too, and Van wasn't too far off from what majority of the league thought. He's been around for a while in the league, so he kind of has a good grip on, a good grasp on everybody. Um, if you, Rob said, be gentle, Van.
Rob,
If
Rob loves these rankings, even though he
yeah.
says he doesn't.
It's a fun thing we do though, and don't get mad if it's something that you think you're higher in. Go ahead and post it in chat, post it in the Twitch chat. Let's talk about it. But I think the biggest thing is like this is it's one person's opinion. It's not super serious. But if Van thinks you're a little low in activity, maybe other people do too. Maybe if Van thinks you have poor sportsmanship, there's got to be someone else out there that thinks you do too. So it's a quick reflection in the mirror. Take a look at where you could maybe improve. But again, nothing set in stone. Quacks and I will fight for you guys if we disagree, obviously. We're going to kind of do it. Van has a pretty cool graphic set up. We're going to I put a black image over all of them so we can kind of release them one by one. It'll be in no specific order. And ignore the thing that says rank on the left side because that is not accurate with how it is. It's just kind of how we're unveiling them. And then new this year, Van, you actually did some end of cycle XCFL awards, which is going to be pretty cool. Just kind of taking everything into account and then throwing some awards out to certain people. So I think that'll be fun as well. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Make sure I got the right one up. Okay, yeah, we're good. All right, let's real quick. Let's break down. Quacks, did I send these to you?
Uh,
I did.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Real quick, let's kind of go over the different pieces of the rankings here. Success, overall winning and results. Offense, obviously the ability to score and move the ball. Defense, ability to stop opponents and get stops. Clutch, performance in close games and key moments. Like bracket in the Super Bowl would probably fare pretty poorly here. Head-to-head rating, head-to-head
First,
record.
first shot of the night.
Yep. I know he's not listening because they're camping or something. So bracket Guac would have to watch this
Well,
back.
so
So
that should affect his rating right
yeah, you
away.
should drop him down. Um, head-to-head rating. Is this head-to-head against you or like everybody?
No, no, this is everybody. So
Okay, gotcha.
I used that program that was built there by
Oh yeah,
Quacks.
that's pretty. That's also cool, dude. The XCFL has got some cool stuff coming with AI and all. Between brackets. Oh, you're fucking wrong, says bracket. Damn it.
God
He,
bless him.
he
God
tuned
bless
in.
him.
Roster building, obviously team construction, depth and talent management, activity, consistency, availability, engagement. So that's kind of like your little content piece, Discord chat, Twitter, sportsmanship, respect, class, positivity in the league. So that can not only mean after games, but are you a complainer in main chat all the time? Whatever it might be. Adaptability, ability to adjust strategies and adapt to changes, consistency, consistent performance week to week, season to season, that whole thing. So we got some cool stuff. Oh, I did not cover the comments, but that's okay. You'll
Oh
see it
yeah, that's
anyways.
fine.
That's
That's
all
fine.
right. The little box doesn't let you fully customize the box. It only lets me drag diagonally and make it super large. It's really annoying. Let me see if it'll let me. Oh, this is stupid, but all right. Comments are covered. In a second. All right, comments was the first thing I went looking at. Yeah, that's all right. So let's go ahead and get into it. Again, the rank on the left doesn't mean anything. Van scrambled them up, so we weren't just going in order of best to worst or worst to last or anything like that. Keep everybody guessing. Um, so it's really just first, second, third, that kind of thing. So Van, we'll let you kick it off. Do you want to go over? What do you want to do here? Do you want to name each? Do you want to we'll say the user and you say their point total? Do you want to go what category by
Let's
category?
just drop the whole thing per user, and I'll go over each rating and why I think they were there. And
All right.
then you guys can chime in as we go down, and then we can look at the comments as a wrap up.
All right. First man up, Mr. Syracuse Pride. Let me release the rankings. I'm gonna have the little thing go every time, but um,
So this is out of
pretty
100, I believe.
2, 3, 4,
Yeah,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. So 81.5 out of 100, which is pretty high to be honest.
very high.
One of the higher scores here for old Pride, who is a
Well,
gem to have in the league. Do you want to jump in? Where do you want to start with Pride?
yeah. Well, the thing with him is you have to look at he does everything well, right? As a
Yep.
member, everything. Like
Top
he's well,
tweeter.
Top tweeter.
yeah, and he he's always competitive no matter what. I've never seen the guy not be competitive. Every freaking Madden, right?
Yep.
And if you look at all these categories, there's just nothing there that he isn't above average at,
I was
right?
gonna
So
say,
that
looking at most of the people have a low score in one or two of them. Pride's over a 7 in every single category, which is incredible.
the only thing about him is his roster building because he's pretty conservative.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that he's not good at roster building. That just means I don't like that style. I think if he was a little bit more aggressive with some of the players, I think he could get that up to about an 8.5. You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
stays, he keeps a lot of the roster and adds to it, which is fine. But yeah, that's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. He was in a really tough division, so
Yep.
his for him to do what he did in that division, just like the other division in the NFC there, the consistency is huge to be there every year in that division.
I think Quacks, you can chime in as well, but I think the one thing I would actually raise Pride up in, maybe move it to this from cycle to cycle, maybe not just Madden 26, but like adaptability for Pride. He went from being like super run heavy, fullback in the backfield, two tight ends, snooze fest to airing the ball out, quarterback with 40 touchdowns, only a couple interceptions, like what Lance McCants did with Pride, which is such a funny name. Um, was such an awesome, like, to see him change up and kind of adapt to maybe defensive backs not reacting to the ball at all. Even with Jameer Gibbs putting up a monster cycle, he doesn't run the same offense as he used to. So that's, to raise him up a little bit. Was there anything you'd change,
I had
Cracks?
I had the exact I had the exact same note, but maybe from a different perspective.
Yeah.
That less giving him kudos for like adapting to the game, but he's just much more fun to play
Yeah. Oh
than
yeah.
he used to be. Like I don't think any, running probably wins more games, but I don't think anybody enjoys the,
No.
tight end fullback in the backfield stuff. So Pride always gives me problems. He's probably one of the toughest guys in the league for me to beat. So I think he deserves the high rating.
Yeah, he's fun. He is fun to play against because it's one of those that turns into a chess match, and I appreciate all the chess matches, whether whether I enjoy playing you or not. If it's sometime I have to actually think, and maybe I want to call this play, but I think I'm going to call this one because he thinks this one's coming, and you're trying to figure out, is a user in the sub linebacker? Who's a user in this play? Is he on the defensive line? So Pride does a good job of the games are fun. And it used to be, Pride was the one person I was like, I did not want to be in his division. And now, complete opposite. I don't mind it. He's a good user. Don't want to play him all the time because of that. But
Well, and I think the comment well-rounded and highly respected is very accurate.
yeah, I think the biggest thing for Pride, and it's the same story every cycle. Like we do the cycle preview show, and everyone's, the question's always like, who's the one user that hasn't won a Super Bowl that's going to win a Super Bowl? And everybody picks Pride, and then we get through the cycle, and there's still no Super Bowl for poor Pride. Um,
Yeah,
but he's in
that's
the
the
playoffs. He
7.5.
makes the run. Yeah, I mean, he won his record this cycle, 96-40. 8 winning seasons. He won. There were only 5 users who had who had winning seasons all 8 seasons. And it's Drew, Quacks, me, Bracket, and Pride. So like, Chaos won 3 Super Bowls and didn't even. He only had 6 winning seasons. So 8 winning seasons. That's consistency. So that's that 9 there. So let's move on. Pride's a solid one to start with because it is a high ranking. Let's go to our old buddy who might be listening. Well, if one is, the other one's usually listening. So it's going to be old Glocky Pants.
They each have they each have one earbud in,
That's,
sharing a
that's
iPhone screen.
both messaging from Brackets Twitch. So Glock comes in a little bit lower at 57. He'll probably be mad at you for that. The one that
Yeah,
jumps off the page here is a 1 in sportsmanship. Van, do you want to talk? Look at the
yeah.
comments. Talented but needs better sportsmanship. Right?
He so there was a couple games specifically, and you know what I really fucking hate? I hate when somebody only go games after a win.
Ooh.
I just hate that shit, man. And like you can say good game or not, just be consistent, but don't only say good game when you're happy, right?
Yep.
And I called him out on it this year. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like I'm like, what are you doing? Like and he admitted it. He totally admitted. He goes, yeah, man, that's me. And I was like, well, just so that really really bugged me. And maybe one's too harsh, but I'm trying to make a point here. He's getting an example made out of him. Maybe like
Point
just
made.
yeah. Like I mean, and he knows. I think though, I think if you put Guac on Mike, one would be a huge ranking. Like I'm pretty sure that would be 0 if you could do it.
But he means it with love. It's I will say though, like this is probably Guac's most successful Madden he's ever been a part of, I think.
Until Jacob showed up.
He made the playoffs 4 times. Yeah, the division was interesting. But he was in the NFC, he was battling. Um, but I think 71 and 65 above 500, 4 like I said, played in 4 playoff games, lost all 4 of them, but got his first taste of some playoff matchups. Um,
Just the
Quack,
fact that that division was so bad too really reflects, the success rating.
yeah, I think
Like
he
he
does
had,
roster building. I could say you could bump the right. He does a good job developing his roster, and he does make big trades. He does. He goes out and gets some players. He goes out and ships players away. A lot of times those trades are a bracket, which that's a whole nother story. He built all of brackets Hall of Famers. But Quacks, is there anything jumps out the screen at you for this one?
I mean, I think the one is maybe a little harsh,
Yeah.
but there's maybe some personal stories in there that go into the category. But no, I think I agree. Guac had, I mean, I've only been around a couple cycles now, but I think he put a couple playoff seasons together in a row, maybe.
It feels
So
like
you got to
you've been
respect it, even if you say easy division or whatever.
it feels
Still,
like you've been around forever, first off. It does feel like you've been here for a long time. And then I get to like the owner stats page, and I'm like, he only has like 35 seasons played. I'm like, what the hell? Or not, maybe not even, I don't know. But
yeah, I was gone for a while,
yeah. But
like
yeah,
I
basically a whole cycle gone.
explain the other
yeah,
rating for
get in
out
there.
of number 3 there. Um, he tends to just try to cram a square peg in a round hole a lot. Like he'll just like I'm gonna beat you this way, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'm gonna get pissed off. You're not getting a GG. And then I find that he doesn't really adapt very well during when he's losing, or he just gets frustrated. One of the two. That's why that rating is low as well.
Yeah, you
I think
got
there's
you.
definitely some frustration comes into play
Yeah.
sometimes.
9 in activity is good though. He was one of the, he had a couple towards the end, I think, when a lot of people stopped tweeting. He did as well, but majority green tweets. He always posts those Sunday tweets. Whoever gets his eight tweets in. Clutch is the biggest one. I think clutch is the most accurate. When the moment gets big, Guac shrinks up a little bit. I mean, you saw it in the playoffs. He had a couple games against certain users where he was able to, could clinch this, could make this, and didn't come through. So I think it's pretty accurate. I would probably give him, looking at how you gave the other ratings for sportsmanship, I would probably give Guac at least a 4. I think most of his stuff is done in like laughing, telling, some of his comments he makes, but I don't, he always good games me, or he just says that was zero fun and we move on. But he beat me the one of the last times we
Oh,
played.
so
So
that makes me regret giving a 1 if he does GG to you and then
it
churns
might,
the tables for
it
me.
might, it might be a you thing, But that, hey, these are your rankings. This is your opinion. We're just here to provide a little perspective. We'll go over this next one quick because it's myself. And
I have some
Van
expl- I have some explaining to do.
Van was a
Um,
little too kind.
though I don't want anybody to think I'm eating jam at a Nick's ass here. I mean, I wanna,
That is a hell of a phrase to come back to.
yeah. But I mean, it's that serious. I had Nick's, I had Nick's defense at 7, and that was only because I could move the ball. But then I was sitting there looking at the rankings, going, "Well, that would discredit the whole list because like the guy led in fumbles, turnovers. I don't know what it was. There was some secret sauce going on there. He claims that he didn't use any different coach abilities. I don't agree with that. I think he had some sort of a combination that he didn't let loose. Um, Obviously, activity 10, roster building 7. This is the one year that I didn't. I mean, I don't know whether you were handcuffed or not, but usually you can look at your roster. I think you had 2 or 3 guys, and you'll agree with this. I think that you had 2 or 3 guys, 4 guys that carried that whole team.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
Consistency in that division. You always being a threat. 9. Um, Adaptive. I can't say that word tonight, but to be able
Adaptability.
to adapt. Every time I do a play or if I have success playing a play, the next game I play you, it doesn't work. Right. Um, you know, the sportsmanship 8. I hate that fucking halfback wide receiver shit. I don't like it. I
The ga-
fucking don't like it.
the gadget.
I just think that's the gayest shit on the planet. I mean, I think that I increased that number just not look like a dick. But
Oh,
that
you should have
number,
Hey,
dropped it.
you could have
yeah,
dropped it. That's okay.
that number was originally a 6. Just for the fact that like and every time it beat me, I was like, fuck, man,
Yeah, I
this is our
knew
leader.
after that kind of got going, and we said anyone could be gadget at the start of the cycle, and like we quickly changed the rules to make it, you only gadget formations, things like that. But yeah, I knew majority of people didn't like that, but it was already rolling, and hey,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
like it. If you don't like it,
I
stop
mean,
it.
the 99 speed.
Yeah.
jet sweep for a killer. But everything else I stand by. Like, I mean, everything else I really do stand by. Your offense is insane. I don't think anybody's going to argue with that 10. Um, like there was a million times where I would watch and you would have 25 seconds left to win the game, and you'd find a way. So that's pretty crazy. And success 9, obviously you had a good success this cycle in a very tough division and a very tough conference.
Yeah, I would have liked to win another Super Bowl, but I roster building, I agree. I really couldn't do much after getting the 3 first round picks the first year. I don't know if I had a first round pick until, the fourth season where I was just kind of at that point I was like, well, these are my horses and we're just going to ride with what we got, and everyone else just kind of filled in, but it was a good cycle offensively and defensively. I felt like I played really well. I just didn't perform in some of the I performed in some of the playoff games, but when it's the high scoring shootouts against another good user, it's anybody's game at that point. You're just hoping you have the ball last, really.
And the fact that you were always there, that can't affect your clutch rating whether you won or lost, right? Like you won as many big games as you lost, right? So,
Yeah,
and they were against really tough opponents. So that 9 I think is justified, especially when you're playing in that division.
yeah. Only one of 3 users with over 100 wins this cycle. Me, Quacks, and Drew. So two
So
of
looking
them.
back at those ratings, sometimes you look at them and go, "Oh, maybe they're too high, maybe they're too low." Like I stand by Guac's sportsmanship, and I stand by your 92.5.
Yeah, no, I like it. I'm good with it. I think you probably could have hit me with drop my success a little lower in my opinion, just because I only did win 1 Super Bowl. I think I only made it to 1 Super Bowl, which the NFC Championship was a Super Bowl, except if the wrong
Well,
person won, then chaos won it. But that's usually how it
calling
worked.
calling me out on quick snap should have brought the sportsmanship down 2 more.
Dude, I'll be the first one to say it. Me and Drew don't even say good game to each other. We finish the game and we just move on. We don't talk afterwards. Like occasionally, like one if it is an actual good game, it's like, oh, good game, dude, good game. But half the time it's just radio silence from both of us and we just move on. So there's games where it's like that, but for the most
I
part, I don't get too upset about video games.
didn't
So
include a dick rating on this one,
Dick,
so that
great. All right, let's go to the
That's for
next guy.
next year.
Yeah. Quacks, anything you wanted to add before we move on to Rob? Be
I
honest,
gotta find something to ding you in here.
lower me.
What's Nick's adaptability? What is he adapting to? He threw to the same guy the whole cycle.
yeah, but he'll on defense too.
And
You know
handed
what
it
I
to
mean?
him. Not just threw to him, handed it to him too.
Yeah, adapting to how to find a different spot to put Marquise Worthy on the field.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's because he calls out my plays every time we're on mic.
One playbook.
Yep, that's true. One playbook, same play sheets, never changed much there.
Yeah.
I don't bbelieve that bullshit about play sheets, and I don't believe that thing about
No,
coachability.
I've seen screenshots. He had like 1,000 coach points.
I never bought. I just
No,
saved
that's
them,
because he found that winning combo that caused 19 fumbles a fucking quarter.
dude. I thought everybody used that one, the
Yeah.
the
Hit him
defensive end
Stigmas?
one. But hey, no, I didn't have the
No, it's
only.
the eyes. I didn't use it till like the last season.
See? I
Which
was
one
right.
is
Right, the
it?
eyes.
Let
The,
me see.
the 4 eyes,
I don't
like
know.
going up and
I never changed it.
Tune in here,
Let
folks.
me
Tune
check.
in here. You never know what kind of advice you're going to get.
It is. Oh yeah, you didn't use that. You didn't use that. I had that blue first season, and that was a game changer right away. Passing paranoia. That was the best
we're
one.
above we're above fumbles in Cleveland if we do other stuff.
Increased chance at strip sacks and fumble. That thing was mastered right away, so that would never change it. So
So
now you all
you heard it
know.
here,
Now
folks.
you all
Jump on
know.
that.
Now you all know
Yeah.
for next cycle. But let's get to Rob. Rob comes in at 54.5, lower than Guac.
Now, like I know, I think Rob had his most successful cycle though.
He did, yeah. He did have a really good cycle, like winning wise, and again benefited from a division that and he did beat Chaos a couple times, but benefiting from a division that was a little lower. Um, but I think total win wise, what did he finish at? Let's see, what team was he? Where is he? Colts,
What
47 and
team
8.
was he? That's a good start.
47 and 89. One winning season, one playoff loss. So when his one winning season, he made the playoffs and lost. But um, I mean, right off the bat, really though, like pretty average ratings. Like no super low ones here. Adaptability 4,
Yeah,
consistency
yeah.
4. I I mean, technically, Rob is pretty consistent, just not always in the
Well,
good
that's
way.
yeah. So it's consistently good.
Yeah.
Um, now with Rob, like I always DM his div mates on this sportsmanship
Ooh.
because Rob's learned to outsmart me, right? Rob,
The
Rob,
old wily vet.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
He hits you with the good game every time,
yeah,
doesn't he?
oh
Yeah.
dude, he's on his best behavior, and in chat he's like, "Way to go!" I like, but I know, I've seen some screenshots of early good games. I've seen it. He's still up to his old tricks, Rob. So I know. I did some investigative reporting there, dude. So that's what you get that 5. I mean, with me and you're great. Obviously, his activity is always good. His roster building was pretty good this year, I thought. Um, Head-to-head rating, it was hard because he did well in some, and then some people he struggled with. You know what I mean? So that's tough. But his defense was always good, always good.
Yeah, and roster. I'd probably bump roster building up a little bit, maybe a 6.5. The activity, I would say, I think we all, and this is not to say Rob's not active because he is in chat. He does do tweets. He's not one of the highest tweeters like he used to be. And the team selection videos are usually where Rob shines, obviously. But like, the draft articles kind of faded, and I think content as a whole was down. Like content wise, some of that was down, but Rob's always a good sport to me. He does do early good games every once in a while, which I hate it. I hate an early good game. And if you ask me to chew clock and I'm not up by 30, I'm never doing it. So just let everybody know I'm getting my points and stats. You can do whatever you want on your side when you have the ball. But don't ever ask for a early chew
That's why we
clock on
can't
me.
have the commissioner doing these rankings because he
Yeah,
has a different lens, man.
yeah. I have to be more positive. But yeah, Rob, that was a good cycle for Rob. I think, consistent improvement. He's figuring things out defensively. I think it's always going to come down to offense for Rob, gameplay wise. Quacks, anything to add on any of this?
Yeah, I think Rob. I think I'd bump his roster building too. He's always a good drafter.
Yeah.
He drafted a lot of studs like relatively late, I thought.
Dude, the one year he grabbed both corners, who both would have been monsters in any other Madden, but the whole no play ball thing kind of
Yeah, he
hurt
kind of
that.
got screwed with that because
Yeah, they were both
that one.
99s. They were both 99 so fast, and then they just
Yeah,
didn't do anything.
but I think
He traded that guy to Pride, I believe, didn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah.
I think Rob is like a glue guy in the league. I think his activity is like you said, Nick. Like I liked the draft articles he used to do, so it was a bummer. I think we saw a couple of those, but not a ton. So maybe a couple points knocked there, but
Yeah, it was a good cycle. I mean, 54.5 doesn't reflect what Rob is to the league. So don't let these discourage you. Let's help them motivate you to improve. And the
that's
comment
what I
for
was trying
Rob,
to find there.
yeah, the comment for Rob, a solid player, room for growth, which I think is pretty true. The comments are pretty accurate, man. All right, let's go to another longtime vet. We'll go with VBD coming in here at a 67 overall. Van, go ahead. Give us your little spiel about VBD.
Well, this is surprising for me. I mean, I know he struggled. His roster building is the same every time. I agree with it. I kind of am the same about how he builds, but his success in that conference should have been much more upfront. He had his spurts and he did well, but he's usually his consistency rating is usually a 9 every cycle. You know what I mean? He's always there. He might have 1 or 2 seasons where he dips off, but this is the first year I've seen him really struggle where he had a record like I did a couple of times. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we're struggling a few games below 500 where you just don't see that guy struggle that way.
Because he used Shadur Sanders. That was a no-no
Well,
right off the bat. 84 wins, 52 losses. But like you said, AFC was a down year. I thought we'd see more from VBD. He made a push at the end, I think. And did he make the AFC Championship? But
Yeah,
so he towards the end he kind of put a little push on. But 4 playoff wins, 5 playoff losses. No Super Bowl trips for VBD this time. Offense 7, defense 7, clutch 6, head to head 6, roster building, activity. Yeah, VBD is always active in chat. And sportsmanship. I mean, dude, if you would have told me VBD in Madden 26 would be an 8 in sportsmanship after
Yeah, that surprises
the
me.
VBD of the past would be like a 2, and you'd be like,
Yeah,
well, like
yeah. Oh, there's a rating where I think he's improved a lot.
yeah,
Like the one thing that losing will do is, you can fight it and be an asshole, or you can just fucking let it happen.
yeah. We'll come back to that
I got
comment
some
later.
I got some
So
GGs from BBD this cycle.
yeah,
Yeah, that's massive, massive. So I think big strike. I know he doesn't give a shit about that rating, but
no, he doesn't give
no,
a shit about any of the ratings you just gave him. Not one
I think
thought given.
he also made it very very clear
Yeah,
how much he disliked the
yeah,
game,
yep,
which sort of baffled me. I don't know. I have the same reaction when anybody posts that kind of stuff because I like the game for I think more than most,
yeah,
and it kind of makes me wonder. I don't know. I guess credit to the XCFL for getting these guys to grind their nails against a chalkboard for an
yeah,
hour a day.
yep,
yeah, right. And you know what? That he's an XCFL guy, always has been,
yep.
right? Like,
Except
and
when he left us that one time for Holtz League, but we won't get into that.
yeah.
We'll
But I mean,
appreciate
he
that.
like I don't love the bitching about the game in Maine. Even though I do it, right? Or I'll dogpile at the very minimum, but what it is, what it is.
Yeah, he does. He usually right off the bat, season one, VBD is always firing off both first round picks for somebody, usually a tight end. And this year it was Kyle Pitts. So he does have his team building. He gets active early, makes some trades, and then kind of sits and builds what he gets.
He's
I mean,
great to
you
trade with.
usually, yeah,
Really good.
I appreciate anybody who's an active trader, like, and who actually wants to get a deal done. And yeah, he's a car salesman, but like, you can tell when someone actually wants to trade and when they're just kind of like, I posted this guy so I'd get 6 DMs, like don't really actually
You,
want to move him.
you know what I like about the way VBD trades? I think he is literally the only guy in the league who does this. He'll post a guy to the trade block and say exactly what he
Yeah,
wants,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
the first person to
yeah.
DM him offering it
Yep.
gets the guy.
Boom.
He's
Done.
great.
Yep.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's in my top 3 for sure. And there's just no bullshit. It's a maximum of 3 DMs, and the fucking deal is done.
Yeah. Yep. I would agree and that's a big thing because sometimes when trades fall through or it's not easy negotiations. You're like, well, let me cross that guy off the list. I'm not. Now, when he posts someone on the trade block, not this time, dude.
Well, and let's be honest. There's people that you put on the trade block you don't even DM, even
Oh,
if you need them.
for sure. You're like, well, he's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
ask for
No,
everything.
you
You're like,
learn them quick.
Yeah.
It's like the real NFL.
Yep. Yeah, you figure out the GMs you like to deal with, the ones you're going to call on draft night for a quick trade, whatever it might be. So VBD is a good one, a good guy to have in the league. Been here forever. So 67 for VBD. Let's jump over to Kells. Kells comes in at a 58. You gave him the one that obviously jumps off the page here would be a 1.5 in sportsmanship.
he's a fucking dick. That's why.
Grizz would probably go lower than a 1.5 with old Kells here.
Well, I know you're both on staff, so you got to be really careful with that one there. But I know he's like, it's not. He doesn't say anything in DMs. I mean, at least he's in Maine being a dick. At least he's transparent.
couple gray area rules that were brought to our attention with some of his gameplay. Nothing crazy, just little things that were skirting around. Again, nothing crazy, but a couple stories there. Um, head rating 8.5. That's his high one there. 7.5 in consistency.
He did really good in head-to-heads. Like, he was competitive against some pretty big users when he played them. Like, there's days where he would just shit the bed and you can tell he wasn't into it. But I mean, for the most part, if he was trying, he's competitive.
Yeah, 64.
I think Kels went through some fluctuations on how into it he was this year.
Yes, yeah, he was
He
close
stuck it
to
out, but
close to
I think
leaving
he
a few
had some times
times.
where he didn't want to really
Yes.
bother with the game.
One of them was like after he made the playoffs, he was like, "I'm done, dude." And I was like, "Hold on, you're in the playoffs. What do you mean?" And that's
He's
the
like,
one.
well, that changes everything.
That's the one where I don't respond, and then eventually, 48 hours later, I'm like, "Hey, the message is deleted," and you're like, "Oh, you good?" And like, "What? What do you mean?" I'm like, "Okay, dude, I saw it, but okay." We'll pretend like I didn't see it. I checked my
He doesn't
Discord
miss.
messages.
There's a little look on the inside
I,
there.
I got notifications on. I see them all right away. Boom, got them. But he had 4 winning seasons out of 8, 1 playoff win, 5 playoff losses. So he had 6 playoff games that he played in, which is, if you look, it's like pretty successful um, division. You'd like. I think this is what his second full XCFL like Madden season. So I think we'll see Kells continue to build and kind of start to figure some things out too. And I know a lot of it can be you get frustrated with who you're playing against, who's in your division, not matching up good against certain players. Um, but yeah, I think he should have done better in that division, especially towards the end of the cycle when like
Yeah,
Grizz was on
yeah.
vacation, Doughboy was done, like it was like that Higgy was gone. It was like this. You should be freaking 14-2, dude. Like what's going on here? So, um, but yeah, I would say that sportsmanship. Kels is always he'll throw a jab in a good game kind of thing to me, but like nothing nothing super vulgar. But I've heard some things, so I can see where you get the 1.5 from. Um,
I mean, he's 0.5 for Glock, so that's not going to sit well.
no, 1.5 is not great because a lot of these sportsmanships are 8, 9. There's really high. So if you gave him a decent sportsmanship, obviously that rating goes up, and he's much more competitive. But anything you got, Quacks, on old Kells here?
Yeah, I think I mean, I think Kells, he lets it rip in Maine.
Yeah.
I think people take it how they take it, and he clearly made a few serious or not so serious enemies in main chat. I think it's entertaining, if nothing else. He's
Yes.
not, the little bickering things that would happen with him were more funny to me than like, sometimes you pop on and see some people going back and forth, and it's like, wow, that guy's a fucking dick. But I don't know. I thought they were funny.
That's your West Coast attitude, man. You're too laid back.
Maybe.
All right, let's jump to Kel's real life buddy, Johnny Baugh.
So they're friends.
Now this guy's an
Being
asshole.
friends with fucking John should drop your sportsmanship.
John Baugh comes in at a 76. This was a fun cycle with John, dude. John jumped right on the
Yeah,
AI train, had the graphics rolling, straight up. It was really cool. And I think right off the bat, defense 9.5. He had a great defense all cycle long. Was playing well. Like
brutal.
the only one putting up low scoring games really. And you could knock his offense if you want, but he was like a dragon. A drag down fight. He was holding me to 21, 24 points, which in this Madden, is tough.
I think he was the top. He was the best defensive user in the league.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think if you
yeah,
looked at the
yeah,
stats, it probably
yeah.
backs
Like
it
I
up.
mean, and every time you play him, you're like, fuck, this is not going to be a fun game.
no,
He
and
users everybody on the field.
Yeah,
yes, yep. And I think I liked his roster building. I don't like power back, so I didn't like the whole committing to. But I get it. You want to get your guy to the Hall of Fame. You want to have like the. I think that contributed to his offense kind of being a little lesser. But like activity 9, roster building, I would say, he grabbed those 2 DNs, and those dudes were monsters all cycle. Then he had Brooks, the 2 linebackers in the middle. He's using it on the outside. He's great with the switch stick, which you don't see many people doing the switch stick. So it's pretty cool when you see it done right and well, and within the rules, which is huge. And again, like you said, Van, about Pride, but he was in a division with Pride and Bracket, and even Shovel. Shovel was a pretty good user this cycle too. He had a couple good runs. So that division, I think, probably top to bottom, probably the best division in Madden 26 for us.
he had a
Where
great cycle all the way around.
there were times where that whole division was above 500, or like it came down to week 18. Who are the two that are getting in? Um, but yeah, nine in consistency. I think he was pretty consistent. Offense was consistently bad. Defense was consistently good. Um, that kind of thing. But I would probably bump his roster building up, and I think I would honestly bump his activity up because it might not be. He was the far and away articles. John Ball was the only one doing any articles. Where others obviously contributed, but John was on the tweet list. He was on the article list. He jumped on a couple shows. He's active in chat. Like he is fun. He's a great member to have in the league because it makes it more fun for everybody else. He's building storylines. it's like what Boone tries to do, but like more maturely and done the right way. So you get I think John Ball is a good, he talks smack, but it's all fun. So the sportsmanship for me, 9 in sportsmanship. I think he's quick to say good game. Quacks, anything you want to add to this?
Yeah, no, I think John is like my cycle MVP,
Hmm.
really. I think he stepped up. He's bought
Yeah,
in
yeah,
completely. Um, and yeah, I mean, like, he's the exact type of guy you can, you know, rip on a little bit. He's not going to take it the wrong way.
yep,
It's all fun and games, and he gets it. And
And his
I think
voice,
he embodies what the XCFL is all about.
yeah.
And it's not all wins and losses.
yeah,
I think he echoes that a lot. He'd probably say it himself.
for sure.
And I think that promoting him to staff is a great choice. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Being a good sport, like John's frustration comes when he's losing. John's frustration's like it's not negative. It's just you know what I mean. He's like, how do I get better? How do I improve my team? How do I do this? He's always reaching out to go back and forth on DMs about builds and about coaching abilities and everything like that. He's one of the first guys I'll hit up on as a resource and say, hey, have you tried this? And he always gets back with something. He's just such a great member.
Yeah, I agree. I think defensive mastermind and great competitor comment. So that's spot on right there. So I like it. Let's jump over to Drewski here, my rival this cycle. Drew led the way, I think, with the most regular season wins at 107, only 29 losses, 8 winning seasons, 12 playoff wins, only 6 losses, had a Super Bowl win and a Super Bowl loss, but was kind of always right there. When you see the Eagles on the schedule this year, and obviously he was gifted the Eagles roster, um, but it's out. You still got to play the games, and he still makes trades. He moves people around. It's a fun guy to play against because it's a tough one. Um, he could not stop Marquise Worthy, so that defense we could drop that down a little bit. But not many could. But yeah, I think 9 for success, which is pretty good. You could almost, like Drew made 2 Super Bowls. Like for me, I would almost bump Drew up to a 9.5 there, depending on what how we're grading everybody out.
Yeah.
Offense, I think Drew was tough. Like he could run the ball, but then at the same time, like for me, I played him twice, sometimes 3 times a season once we met in the playoffs. Um, so the play call can get a little repetitive. You know what's coming, but it still would be like a route that you just couldn't stop. Like you could be in the right spot, but then it has two routes on plays. And especially at the end, he started utilizing the quick passing game, and it was tough to stop because you're loading the box for Ronnie Jacobs, but then he's got neighbors and whoever else coming underneath. So roster building, I agree, 8.5. That's a really good score for that. I think that's the highest we've seen in roster building. Activity, Twitter, Slack. He's not in chat as often as he is. He does pop in. He's always around and listening, but I think adaptability. Would you go
Always
8?
listening.
He's always in there. Consistency 9. I think spot. Like honestly, you could go 9.5 or 10 with consistency for Drew because like consistently in the NFC Championship or like competing or losing just before. Like it was, as good of a cycle as you really could have. Again, gifted the Eagles after pansying out and taking the best team in college football too. But I'll be curious to see what he does next cycle. Does he, where he drafts, does he take another top team? But Quacks, what do you got on Drew here?
I think, yeah. I mean, clearly he's successful. Nobody enjoys playing Drew. I mean, well, no, I shouldn't say that. I do like playing Drew. I think we always have close games. He's a guy that I can lose to, and I don't feel shitty about it.
Yeah.
It's usually like I just got outplayed. I think you want to see a little more activity from him, but that can be said about a lot of guys.
Yep.
And then roster building. I mean, I had a really tough time doing any trades with Drew. I think
yeah, for
that
sure.
that sentiment is
He's
probably
tough.
common amongst the league, but
Yes.
I don't know if that's a knock really on roster building or not. I
Drew
mean,
only makes
maybe it's an ad to be a kind of a
yeah.
stickler,
Drew
but
only Drew only
he's
makes
certainly valued
trades.
his players highly.
Yeah, Drew only makes trades if Drew clearly wins the trade for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, hey, yeah, it's kind of what you're supposed to do, I guess. But it makes it very tough to get trades done unless you're stealing Ronnie Jacobs from Riot for nothing, and then we are telling Riot how good of a player he just traded away for nothing, and then he becomes
What
one of
was
the
the
best players in the
quarterback
cycle.
trade? What was the quarterback trade that he moved?
Oh, he's Daryl.
Oh God,
Ilio's boy, Daryl, gave Drew,
played one game.
every
Yeah.
pick in the world and then left. So Drew was basically just handed like a top 5 pick. But
Yeah.
I was negotiating for that pick, and he sent me a DM, and he was like, Drew is offering me his quarterback and blah blah blah.
yeah, it was like a
And
pick.
just the way he worded it, I just said like, sounds good, man. Good luck with everything.
Yeah. And then he was gone. And he goes, whoa, why did I get booted from the server? I was like, dude, you made a trade and left, dude. Like, it's like the rule number 1. But whatever. All right, let's jump over to Michael Chadwick, who will probably not be thrilled with this rating, but he probably also won't know this even happened. Chad comes in
You'll
at
see this in like 3 weeks
Yeah.
and post some crazy
Chad,
shit about it.
Chad comes in at a 44.5. A lot of ones, Van. Do you want to chat about your division?
Okay, so when you do these rankings, it's good to do the top guys first because then you get like a benchmark, right?
So you went straight to Chad.
Yeah.
You don't start with Chad. You just don't. I mean, it's not a great. It doesn't produce consistent results. So Chad was in my division, and I love the guy, and I would love to be in his division again. But there was this, and he put up some good fights this year. Like he was better in this cycle than he was in college. Where college he was really bad. But like his clutch rating, I mean, like, did he beat anybody with a over 500 rating?
No, probably not.
Like,
He
No,
played.
and I don't.
He was again though tough division. He was with you, JMO, and Brat for the most part.
Right.
But yeah,
I mean, guy's sportsmanship is fucking top notch, though. Like he's so much fun to have in the division. The banter going back and forth, the laughing. He's never a dick when he loses.
no.
He's never a dick when he wins. He's fun to play. 9, I do not like. That could be 9.5. Like he's so much fun to have as a div mate for sure, and I would do it again, not just because of the winning, but because he's so much fun to banter with. And roster building, the guy can construct our roster pretty good. Like it at the end, I know it wasn't that hard this year, but I mean, you looked at his roster and his running back and his tight end and that stupid wide receiver.
Dude, that receiver was nuts. He played really well with that guy.
And that was grown and bred in his system, right?
Yeah.
He didn't trade for that guy. All his guys that he had that were studs, he drafted and developed, which is fucking pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the one I would probably raise up, I'd probably lower defense. Offense 7.5 is really good for Chad. You know, offense has never been his issue. Throws too many picks, that kind of thing. But yeah, I think overall I might not have gone ones on everything, but 2 to 3 kind of situation for sure. And then activity, I would probably drop activity. He's in chat, but outside of which he was the first one to message me to say he wanted to be on shows and stuff.
He made drafts this year.
Yeah, that's a big growth there.
Yeah.
He actually attended the offseason. It used to be free agency provided by Chad. And it would be I remember he had like 97 speed Will Fuller, and it was just a race to sign Chad's best player every year.
He wouldn't care. He would just sign up and play with the roster that was given him after.
As long as he still had Odell Beckham on his roster, he was cool with whatever happened. But yeah, no, Chad, another good one to have in the league. Like I said, not everybody's always going to win all the games. So like the guys who take the punches and stick it out and do it for the love of the game kind of thing are the building blocks of the league. So Chad's a good. I won't call Chad a building block because that's not true. But
he's a block. He's a
block. Yeah,
He's a block.
But the tough division, tough cycle. JMO had a really good cycle. You had a good cycle. Brap had a good cycle. Like that was a tough division there for old Chad. I think he will be division hunting for sure next cycle.
Well, the invite's already been sent out.
All right, let's jump to the next guy. It's gonna be Quacks.
Whoa.
Comes in at an 86.5, so second highest of the so far of the users so far. Right off the bat, 2 perfect 10s for old Quacks there in activity and sportsmanship, which I would agree with. it's a dude who's always looking to better the league any way he can. Stepped up
Yeah.
on staff. We had a huge issue with somebody not counting 70-30s. Quacks was already counting it before he was even added to staff, and I was like, dude, let's just make it official. Somebody that has really grown to be like a pillar of the league. So like it's a huge score for sure. I mean, lowest one was a 7 in head to head.
And that's only because of the Ravens.
Oh, he did have some struggle with some Ravens every now and again.
That's
That's
And you know
true.
what, Gabe? That in turn that bumped his 10%, his 10 rating to sportsmanship for not jumping and climbing a bell tower.
Well, do you wanna break down some of his scores?
Yeah.
Yeah, go
Well,
ahead.
I mean, the sportsmanship with Quacks is, anybody who plays the guy knows, you know what I mean? The good feedback, the positivity. He's mature that way. And in a league where we're all boys who play video games, it's
Yep.
hard to come by sometimes. And so I really respect that. And it's consistent all the time. He's just not nice one day and not. He's consistent that way. His ability to adapt on defense is insane.
Yeah.
I think that's great. He's got a super high football IQ. His roster building this year, yeah, I don't know. He took some chances. He gave me a whole bunch of shit for that running back.
Dude, the biggest trades of the cycle were Quacks. Like
Which I love.
whether it was giving up 6 picks for 1 pick or giving up, it was players
I'll say
moving.
I think I decided a little too early. Once we saw like everybody could get a 99 by the end of the season, if you just decided who you wanted to be 99.
Yeah.
I was like, none of this shit matters.
No.
I might as well just like get guys that I am excited about.
Yep. Cool names.
But I think I might have leaned into that idea a little too hard towards the end there.
But I mean, dude, it's not like Bucky wasn't awesome. Like he was good. Like,
well, actually, hold on. We got to drop sportsmanship for the trade with Rob for sure. There's no way. Yeah,
made me feel great about that one.
That was more of shots at Rob because I was like, hold on, that was the worst trade of the Madden history by Rob. But yeah, so I'd give him a 9.5 in sportsmanship. But yeah, everything else pretty spot on.
Well, you won some, lose some.
I think you could bump defense up a little bit. He had his games, obviously. I mean, everyone did this cycle where you're giving up 40. But like as far as like user picks go, like we were talking about in Stat Chat the other day, like Jamal Branch, all his interceptions were likely user lurks, and he led the cycle pretty much with most picks. Well, the linebacker by far, just like head and shoulders away from everybody else. I think success, you could almost go 9.5. I like the 9 just because I'm going to say it again, AFC. But like Quacks is one of the AFC guys that could compete with the NFC. But I would like to see, maybe another Super Bowl berth there. I think towards the end, I think Chaos got the number and just kind of ran with it. But
if you look at why these rankings are made and like who scores well, Quacks is that guy.
Well, we needed Quacks to win the Super Bowl, and he did because Fat Jazz Yoshi went on his historical run of beating me, Drew, and Brackett back to back to back in the playoffs. And you can't have a new guy win that early because that just sets a horrible precedent. So we needed to come through.
I think I was the perfect. I've played Yoshi way more times than any of the guys in this league, so we've had a long running. But this was like on home turf. He, he's new to the league, still learning all the rules, knocking off all the giants on his way there.
He was definitely playing some zone coverage. That's all I will say. But yeah, it was. No, it was a good cycle for Quacks. I think that's a pretty accurate score. Quacks, anything you would either raise or ding yourself for?
I think the clutch. I lost a lot of games that I should have won, in my opinion. Yeah, towards the end, in the playoffs. I think this. I am not going to pretend, despite all my defending in chat, that this wasn't a year or a cycle where I could make some runs because the AFC was so much weaker than the NFC. So I don't expect the same level of success in years to come, but that's not why I'm here. So
yeah, 104 and 32 though. That's an impressive cycle regardless because you're playing everybody. So And when you're finishing first in your division, you're still playing the other top guys and all the other everybody. So let's move on to Shovel, new to the XCFL this cycle, I believe. Shovel came out with a pretty good score for a first time guy, 67.5. Again, played in the NFC North. Very very tough situation playing with two longtime vets and then John Baugh, who you get most improved, whatever you want to call it. Faded off towards the end, but I think he finished 50 and 52. Only 2 winning seasons, which it felt like he had a lot more. But go ahead, man, take it away.
Well, the thing that jumps right off the page is roster building. His teams were stacked. Now, I know that he got a gift in free agency. He just happened to have the most cap room when the best quarterback was available. Hey, but you know what? That's a skill.
Yeah. Trade away Michael Parsons to make that happen, though. So.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but his rosters were always really, really good. His offense was really, really good. Success was 6 because it was really, really, tough to. Holy shit! Hold on. Easy there.
Vincent wants his appearance.
Yeah. So I mean, his sportsmanship was really good. He's a good guy for the league. He's friendly to talk to after the game, win or lose. His consistency is where I thought he was either looked really, really good or he looked lost.
Yeah,
I agree. I think when he first joined, I can't. Maybe it might have even been like a waitlist game that we played, and I was like, "Oh, this guy could make some noise."
Yeah.
And not to say he didn't. I think he got put in probably the toughest spot he could have been put in.
Yeah.
But I thought he would be more of a problem for people towards the end. And maybe next cycle we'll see a little sophomore breakout from him.
Yep.
Because I think he's a really good user.
Yeah, solid rookie. I mean, when you're coming in, you have 2 games a season against Pride, 2 games a season against Bracket, 2 games a season against John, and you're just hoping to go 500 in those. Most of the time, you're probably going 1-5 or 2-4. It makes it tough to kind of compete for the division title, but he was up there every time. The one
and
thing
talk about three guys as a new user.
Yeah,
3 guys that are. John a little bit newer, but he takes it seriously enough where they're going to learn your tendencies that is, I think you guys can attribute. That's a lot more important than
100%.
Just stick skills in the XFL. Yeah. So it takes some time to get that kind of stuff.
I think the biggest thing, and this applies for a lot of people, but it's that whole adage of what are you doing when no one's looking kind of thing. And as soon as we announced it was the last season, Shovel was gone, dude. Like, no content, no tweets, no Discord chat, no games played, like a few games played. And that's like my biggest no-no.
That's disappointing.
It's a huge test for everybody. And right away you see who has success and who fails at that test. And, I think he lost a couple games early and was just done. And it was handing out forced wins. And that's a huge no-no. And again, not just him. Probably 15 people on this list. Is that whole thing of you're always going to get rewarded if you're the one who sticks it out and actually plays and does it, and that's what you're going to see when we start this next cycle, when people get their speed boosts and dev bumps and everything that the guys who actually stuck it out and played. So hopefully a learning experience for him, but again, rookie in the cycle, really good rookie year. I'm excited to see a 67.5 is pretty good for your first time. So
underrated talent, consistently overlooked.
There you go. That's a good comment as well. All right, let's go to the one we've all been waiting for, Kevin Brackett.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Old Brackett. High score, 84 on the dot here. A lot of 9s, 10s, that kind of thing. I think right off the bat for me, I think Brackett's offense should be a 10. That's all. I would never admit that to him publicly or privately. He'll probably clip this. But I think Brackett's offense should be a 10.
It's only because I beat him and pressed him all game.
Yeah, that you did dominate that one game on the broadcast. But I think his defense should probably be lower than a 6. But offensively, 10 for sure for me. I think I made a soundbite. He said, I think what he did this cycle offensively, you went into games with Brackett, and Brian saw firsthand, if you punted or didn't score or settled for a field goal, the game was over. He might not stop you the rest of the game, but you're not stopping him. And he did it with the slow receiver. He did it with the slow tight end. He did it with, then he got Henley and whatever. He did it with a fullback and running back.
He fell in love with a fullback.
Yeah,
one of the most mind-boggling things that happened.
He said it was almost like he was bored, but offensive play calling, puts time in his playbook, had play sheets he liked, cool routes that if you didn't play Brackett often or watch him play, you were getting cooked. And that never happened for me because I always knew when he was running that weird little route he would do with his tight end where it was zigzagging and whatever. But if you didn't play Brackett, you weren't ready for the double pass. You weren't ready for some of the stuff he did, the play action with the tight end crossing the field, running the wheel thing.
I forgot about the double pass. Let's take a couple off sports.
Brackett had a good cycle. He won his first Super Bowl and made another one. So for the longest time, that was the running joke that Brackett was never going to win a Super Bowl, and he came out and won a Super Bowl right pretty early this cycle. So what was the lowest one? 7 in head-to-head. I think again he was the best user in that tough division. Did not win 100 games this cycle though. Only 199. Got to point that out. Quacks, what do you got on Brackett?
Did he win a Super Bowl?
Yep. Yeah, he did. Then he stopped. Then he stopped participating and tweeting.
He's so mad that you just said that.
I know. I'm just kidding.
It only took 8 appearances in championship games to get one, but
I think of all the users that did not win multiple Super Bowls, aka everyone but Chaos.
Yeah.
I think Brackett was the closest to being a multi-Super Bowl winner this cycle. I also agree. I think any more kudos you give on his offense, you should take away from the defense so it doesn't change the score.
100%. Because that defense was horrific sometimes.
But yeah, great sportsmanship. I think everybody enjoys playing Brackett.
He's fun.
Too many trades with Guac, but
Guac should be investigated.
Guac should get Brackett's roster building grade because it was basically just like a feeder team. Oh, you drafted that guy before I got a chance to pick. Here's a future first for him. But he did always pay. He always paid though. He did.
The thing with Brackett with roster building, I like his rosters and everything. And 90% of the time he's going in the right direction. And then there's a couple of trades. I'm like, wow, I don't understand what that's about.
No, that'll be the end. Yeah, that'll be until the day he dies. He traded right after. He's always like, I'm not trading this guy. And then I even pinned the Manny Beltran one, and he replied to it and goes, we might have to think about this. And it was like, oh boy, man, it might be worth noting. Brackett told us if we would have gone one more season, he was like negative 64 mil in cap space. So he would have been absolutely scred, but
so he just threw his dick on the crap table last season.
Yeah, but a good cycle for Brackett. Probably his best. I mean, definitely his best cycle ever. So let's move on to Ebanks here. Ebanks comes in with a 72, which I think is very high. I'd probably lower most of these. No offense to Ebanks. Van must really like. I think he's really thinking about those Browns-Ravens games.
I watched most of his games versus Quack.
Yeah, I mean he performed in those games. He did have a good cycle. Obviously, 71 and 65. I will say anyone above 500 because there's really not many users above 500. It's a good cycle. 6 winning seasons, so 6 of 80 had winning seasons, 3 playoff wins, 5 playoff losses. But again, one of those guys that did fade off at the end. Not activity.
Played in the first Super Bowl.
Yeah, yep. Activity-wise, I'm dropping that below a 6, probably to like a 3, maybe even lower. Rarely in chat, not much article, that kind of thing. But I get, different work schedule, so that makes it tough. But there's no excuse to not tweet and no excuse to not do articles if you want any of that. So offensively, he was an 8, defensively a 7. Roster building, I would probably lower it from a 6 as well. When you get a team like the Ravens, you have to make plans right away with what you're doing. And he had no plans, went into the offseason, couldn't sign anybody, didn't trade any of them away, and lost pretty much everybody. And And that is tough because you lose Trenton Simpson, you lose, he kept Roquan Smith,
Oh
but
yeah, that was he did the Chad free agency, didn't he?
dude, he funded the first 2 free agencies fully. It was all the
I don't
Ravens'
think it
best
was. I
players.
don't think it was the Chad style. I think it was just he didn't have money.
Yeah, didn't have money. Which when you're in that situation, I mean, week 1, you need to be. I will give you this for whatever pick you will give me. Anyone you can't re-sign, you are taking 3rd-round picks. You're like whatever, because then you just lose them all for nothing. And like now this Madden, there's restricted free agent stuff like that, so that would be okay. But yeah, I would probably drop activity. I'd drop roster building. Clutch 7. I mean, I probably dropped Clutch just because I don't know if he played in too many big games. He had some good seasons. Quacks, what do you got on Ebanks?
Yeah, well, as we've covered, Ebanks had my number a couple times.
Couple times.
I think, yeah, the Ravens roster, I think, dismantled to like one of the lowest overalls in the
Yeah.
league, and I mean, overall isn't everything, but
It is
from
everything. It's everything.
yeah, it depends on what day
Yeah.
you're asking if
Yeah.
it's everything or nothing. But to go from like probably top 3 roster to like bottom 3 roster, tough to see.
Yeah.
I think
The lack of Lamar usage in the run game for me was baffling. And the lack
yeah,
of Keaton Mitchell in the passing game he was basically Jahmyr Gibbs, and there was no until very late. I don't think he threw to Mitchell a lot.
I don't think he passed ever.
he was probably the lowest passer in the league.
Yeah.
I think by the numbers,
Same.
like attempts wise.
Like he was doing the busy thing, like 3rd and 20 and running.
But he was a dude that I mean, you could put him up against anybody, and it ended up being like a competitive game. I don't want to. I mean, it's not all bad for Ebanks. He had a good cycle. We got into a couple of shootouts. I think I won on a extra point to win at the end because I scored with no time left. Like it was like 55, 54. And I know your games with him too were high scoring, Quacks. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he ran all over me every time we played. He got
he blew the
200
door
yards.
up. He blew the door.
Keaton Mitchell.
All right, man.
Yeah, Keaton Mitchell is a problem. We are more than halfway through here. We only have 24 users we're going over, so we are more than halfway through. Let's go to another rookie here, Fat Jazz Yoshi. You can call him Fat. You can call him Jazz or Yoshi. Van just went with Fat Jazz. Only guy that got a lowercase first letter too. It really bugs me. My OCD is freaking out over here.
Oh fuck! I'd hate to have you as a boss,
dude. To come in, cycle 1, make a hell of a playoff run. And another thing I will say, like we talked about the rule violation, zone cover. It wasn't ever like, whoa, dude, that's stupid, or oh my god, no, I didn't. It was always like, okay, I'll fix it, or oh yeah, I can do this. And it's not. It's a guy who gets it and wants to be a part of it, which is always appreciated. As staff, you don't want to have those conversations with people where you're like, oh, they're gonna be pissed at me now. Like, I don't want to be doing this, but I have 29 other guys telling me you're doing this, so. He would, open to all criticism. He would be like, "Hey, can you watch my next game and make sure I'm cool?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, for sure." So I can always appreciate that. Sportsmanship all-time high. Got stuck in a division with me and Drew, which 107 and 104 wins, and then you're just trying to make the playoffs after both of those games. But he beat Drew a couple times. He beat me a couple times. Also could not stop Marquise Worthy. But his offensive schemes though, whether it was running with the quarterback, Devin A-Chain never got enough love. He had a couple seasons, dude, but like I would always play him like, why? Like, please continue doing this. You're not giving the ball to your stud, and then he'd be back at punt return or run back a punt with him or something. I'd be like, well, good. At least he's not giving it to him on offense. But those guys, like he had a weapon there, and he did. I think roster building, I would probably bump up from a 6. Because he was active, dude, on the trade market. He traded Quacks for, Shane McCoy.
We had a little pipeline going.
Yeah, he had a couple big trades, which I think he did. And then he drafted well. He had a bunch of guys that would just pop, like Will Giles, his middle linebacker, like going through end of season stats and stuff. I was like, this dude was a monster in a game where, the good linebackers were really good. He was right up there with all that. And yeah, Sportsmanship 9, I agree there. Quacks, anything you got on old fat Jazz Yoshi?
I think he's a guy a little bit like Shovel where I want to I'm interested to follow him next cycle and see if he ends up in a little bit more parity division wise.
Yep.
What he can do because I mean I know he's good. I've been playing with him for as long as I've been playing online Madden. He was like in the first league I joined, and I must have asked him 10 times to join the XCFL, and I think it was always like it would have been the second league he was in, which is
Yeah.
a lot. And then, it's the same common story. He would come and read the rules and be like, "Jesus, man, this is like a lot of shit going on." And then he finally joined, and I think he's this is now his main league, which is another common story we hear. But I think he's been a great fit, and I think he had his little coverage incident that was handled, but. I think he can make some noise in the future. He's a good user.
For
Offensively, I think he's going to end up being top of the league once he gets things settled in.
Again, came in first season, 5 winning seasons, 73 and 63, 5 playoff wins, 4 playoff loss, like with a Super Bowl appearance. That's a successful rookie year. When you jump into league and 24 of the people are regulars that fully understand and are scouting and that kind of thing, and you're new to that, like, I can't just for him, like the first 8 times he played, he'd run the exact same play the first play. And so after like the third time, I was like, all right, I'm just going to use this zig route. I know you're running right here, and I would blitz everyone because it was a play action play. And like for me, for playing against me, I think he got to see like, I need to figure this out, then get multiple plays in formations, because I would be like, here's the stretch RPO that he's going to throw to this guy, and like you figure that out when you play someone twice a year. But yeah, I think your comment, Van, always dangerous no matter the rank, I think is just true. Like he could beat anybody on any given day. So I think it was a great cycle for old FJY. Let's jump to the one we've all been waiting for. Really, though, it's Van's rankings on himself. Take this with a grain of salt, because Van's probably trying to make everyone feel better by lowering his stuff down. But
this is not self-deprecating.
Let's see what we come up with here for Van. So 55, which I'd already say is too low. But
honestly, I want to say this is the most fun I've ever had playing Madden. There's no way around it.
Which you could argue and say it's one of your, I don't know, like least successful cycles,
Yeah.
Which
for sure.
Yeah.
And I was playing and losing and like finding ways to have fun. It was great. I really had a lot of fun. But I played like shit and I didn't have any success. Now, I'm not going to blame the conference and my division. I was in a really tough division in a tough conference. Great. Like, what was the year? What was the year where JMO won 12 and wasn't in the playoffs?
Yeah, that you got. Yeah, it was tough over there.
Like so.
Yeah, I would have said for sure it was the NFC North, but that's the toughest division.
The South is tough.
But the fact that you just brought that up, JMO missing the playoffs with 12 wins is crazy.
Yeah,
I mean maybe that's more to the conference, but not to
so,
derail things. Keep going.
So it's hard to kind of gauge or judge or rank that within that. But at the end of the day, I didn't win enough, and I didn't show. I only made the playoffs one time. My roster building would have been higher if it wasn't for Kyler Murray. I just couldn't get over that one. So,
that is a good ding. That was my first note. I said I think your roster building could be higher.
I was going to say the
that's
same.
That's a good ding.
That's funny. I'd still give you.
Did he play a snap?
No.
And I gave a top 10. I gave a top 10 pick for him.
Yeah.
Now, my sportsmanship
Quacks level lunacy right there.
My sportsmanship could be 15 because I didn't back out of that trade.
Yeah. I think your sportsmanship's higher than a 5. I think activity. I think you get a 10 in activity. You're always the first one to jump on any show, like actively looking to be on the show, yelling at me if I don't invite you to a show. I think adaptability probably a little low. You understand the game and what needs to be done. I think people just adapt to you adapting, and it just makes you feel bad about yourself. But I think like roster building, I would probably give you like an 8 in roster building, even with the Kyler Murray trade. Because the Mitchell Dugan trade, like you had some good moves. The Joe Milton trade, like you grabbed your quarterback, paid him 20 mil for a season, the rest of the cycle, like when everyone else is paying their quarterback 97 million. Some of us over 97 million. But
Name names.
yeah, that's Calvin Andrews.
I think my offense at 8. I thought my offense was good this year.
For sure. But I also think your defense was good. You had some stud linebackers. You had a nice pass rush. I think what hurt a lot of people's defense was the way the game was built and the lack of play ball on a lot of corners with us not having to click on interceptions made people and the lack of pursuit stuff. You'd be in the right spot a lot of times, but it's just we also have to add this. Van could also not stop Marquise Worthy. But it was. But no, I think I definitely would have you probably in like the 70, 75 spot if we were bumping up scores here.
I think with the success being so low, which is accurate,
Yeah. Biggest thing though, I think like activity wise, you're always in chat. Like you're another one like a John Ball where it's like you give shit, you get shit back, like you have fun with it. It's never sometimes for you it gets a little too serious, but it never gets too serious for the most part. It's a good one to have in the league, and like it'd be a different place if you weren't there. So those are the users you got to keep, and
I think there was a couple of times where I questioned Brap's BMI in chat after a game. So the sportsmanship can't go above a 5 when you do that. Like when you say somebody's blood type is Rocky Road, you can't.
Man, I think there's probably like I don't know, half a dozen guys that when a new user joins, I hope aren't active in chat, and I think you're one of them. Like
fans
somebody joins in and they're like, "Hey fellas, hey fellas, looking for a Madden league," and you're like, "Who's this faggot?"
Dude, I always picture Van with the Conor McGregor gif. Who the fuck is this guy? Like that's literally what like. Whenever I see a new user, I'm like, "Here goes Van." Never like, "Hey, dude, welcome to the best."
Settle down.
Yeah, welcome to the best Madden league ever. It's like, what the fuck's this guy doing here? It's like, okay, this is
the new guys manifested a rivalry that doesn't exist.
A shirt is following you wherever you go, dude. And he hasn't played Madden in 4 years. That's great.
I don't know what I did, man, but he's just fucking got eyes on me, man.
Oh, all right, let's jump here. I think this will be an interesting one because we're jumping to chaos here.
Him and Doughboy were the two hardest to rank.
Yeah, I think right off the bat, obviously, the dude won 3 Super Bowls. So like for me, an 8.5 success. I mean, dude,
that seems low.
I think he.
Remember the difference in his first couple of years, so maybe that would affect consistency instead of success. So maybe there's an argument there for sure. But I just remember there were times where he wasn't in it.
Because we can and we can bash the AFC all we want, and he got a cakewalk to the Super Bowl, whatever you want to say. But he still got to the Super Bowl and then beat whoever came out of the NFC. It was never the Giants because then it would have been a loss. But it was whoever he faced in the Super Bowl, he beat. And so, a lot of it was Drew. It was Brackett. Might have been Drew. No, who was the other one? Who else did he beat in the Super Bowl? Pride? Did Pride? Yeah, I think it was. Which, I mean, and for me, so I think the one I would lower would be roster building. I think which is weird to say because he had 175 ability players.
It's the reason why you made a rule for the X Factors.
Yeah, but dude, his first season, he traded every single thing for Malik Neighbors, only to then, like 3 weeks later, be like, trade Malik Neighbors in the offseason. Like, I don't know. I think he benefited from how the game played, where players could bump up quick, but I didn't like the way he went about his team building. He got, again, I think similar to me, his roster was way higher rated than mine, but like he had his like 4 key guys, the tight end, the receiver, the quarterback, defensive end, whatever, and those were his bread and butter guys, and that's who he really like. But I think like offensively, I wouldn't necessarily bump his offensive score. I think it's another one similar to Brackett though, where like if you don't watch him play or play him twice a year,
Yeah, yeah.
you're not ready for, this guy. Like you have Hayes running the drag this way, you got the tight end running drag this way, you got the running back out of the backfield if both drags are covered, whatever it might be. And you would just get eaten alive. And so I think that was a lot of it too. The not having familiarity with his gameplay and then playing him in the Super Bowl, like that was why a lot of the NFC big dogs struggle when they played him. But um,
He
I
was a tough
think,
one to rank. He was tough.
yeah, sportsmanship,
I think
man.
he was
Yeah, go ahead.
I think he was an elite playoff user.
Yeah,
He was totally different in the playoffs. He's so much more patient than I am. He sticks to his game plan. I think that's why he was so tough to beat. He
yeah,
played it really safe and
yep,
no mistakes, and like he wasn't going to throw a stupid interception.
yeah,
And in this Madden, where stops on defense were few and far between,
yep,
he was similar in the vein what you said about Brackett earlier. Like you throw one stupid pick or get stripped
yep,
on a sack,
yep.
and the game might be over because he's not going to give the ball back to you.
And it was kind of like playing pride in the past, but it wasn't the run game. It was like the short passing game and the tight end. And you're like, well, now I'm just going to get, it was death by 1,000 cuts where you're like, well, this game's probably over. And you're only down by like 3, but
And
it
it just takes
just,
a little
yeah,
hint of frustration, and you start
yep,
doing shit you wouldn't normally do. And yeah, I got
yeah.
suckered into that too many
Yeah.
times.
And he
He's
even,
a
he even just
he's
said
also
in,
a guy.
he even just said in chat too, he probably lowers activity rating, which I would agree. I think, but again, I think as a league, we're all getting older and we don't have as much time as we used to do shows and tweet and articles and stuff. The one article he did do was sick, the Super Bowl champion review thing. Um, you
And I
know,
know he's got something else in the works that
yeah,
he I was working with him on with the app, and so I would imagine that's probably still coming out,
yep.
but I think he works on like larger stuff that take more time.
Yeah, which I'm all for. I like the stuff that takes time, and even if you do just get to throw it in AI or whatever, and they help format and type a bunch of blabber words, it's still like coming up with the idea, getting all the stuff you need. Find like I love the big articles
Right.
like that. Those are cool.
Well, the thing is the
I've
AI is just you got to know how to leverage it,
Yeah,
right?
And I've swung way around on the AI stuff because I used to get like, when somebody would publish an article that's just like, okay, you just
yeah,
plugged into ChatGPT, like,
yep,
hey, the Browns just won a wild card game. Can you give me a
yeah,
blurb?
yep,
And it's like, okay, cool. But then I don't know. At the same time, like, there's still only 3 people even doing that. Like, just
yeah. Oh
do
yeah.
something.
No, it was obviously a really good cycle for chaos. That was our first three-peat we've seen since. I don't even know what Jiggy three-peated, but Josh three-peated way back in the day. It's very tough to win 2 in a row, let alone 3 in a row. It's very tough to win 2 in a cycle, even over a course of 8 seasons. So and it's
Well,
for
and certainly I'm going to spitball this one, but I don't think anybody's ever won their first 3 Super
no,
Bowls in a row.
no. What's so funny is Chaos was always the first 5 seasons. Oh, this is so cool. We have so much parity. We have a different Super Bowl winner every season. And then he just wins the next 3. And it was like the guy talking about the parity and then ruined the parity. Not ruin, then took that parity and threw it out the window by winning 3 in a row. So, but it was
He's
a
also
great cycle.
he's also a Madden savage. The guy loves the game. You
Dude.
know what I mean?
And what
Yeah.
he what he
He loves
did what he did with the quarterback and tight end, like that was like Rob Gronkowski, Tom Brady, Dallas Clark, Peyton Manning type stuff, where it was just like those two kind of grew together. And like what I mean, say what you want, Weston was topped like the 60 touchdown mark like 3 times. And then Cologne was by far head over heels the best tight end in the league, not even close. So I
I
think he
think it was
averaged
Colin.
Yeah.
whatever, Colon, whatever. He averaged like 24 touchdowns a season.
He knows what's going on in the game. There's
Yeah,
no
oh
doubt.
yeah,
Like
for
he
sure.
understands Madden, understands what works, knows, I mean, I just was looking. He has currently, as we finish the cycle, 14 ability players on his team still.
Yeah,
Because he's got guys under the threshold that
yeah.
he's got waiting in the wings. I mean, he knows what's going on.
A heck of a cycle. All right,
I
let's jump.
I don't think he's sim training once all cycle.
No, dude, he made me wait for it. We played like week 16 this last season. He's like, I gotta train, and I'm like, for what?
Over.
With six guys loaded.
All right, let's go next guy, 17 here. We got Dave. Dave, longtime vet, was here in like Madden 17, 18, 19, stepped away, came back, then finally like took a long break and came back. Which I think Dave was another one, respectful competitor, always in the mix. I think Dave was tough. Dave beat me. I think he competed with, his division mates too. He had he had to be like VBD, Will. Like it was a battle over there. And it was, first time kind of back in the league. I guess you can call this like the modern XCFL era. Because I think last time he played there was no user lurks, none of that. So but yeah, I think like success wise, I'm trying to remember I think he made the playoffs once or twice.
Yeah, I played him in the playoffs, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But overall win wise, where did he finish? 48 and 88, 2 winning seasons, 2 playoff losses. So probably not as much of success he would have liked. Roster building, I think the big knock there would be took the Trent Peck pick at number 1 and then just didn't dev him at all the whole season or the whole, and then eventually
I'm
just
pretty
traded
sure
away.
I'm pretty sure he was a normal when I got him.
No, I got him for superstar, but he when I got him, he was drafted at like 72 overall and was still like a 74, and I was like, what happened here? This guy's got 99 speed. So, but yeah, I think like the sportsmanship, I think Dave is awesome. Never says a bad, never disrespectful to anybody in chat. Like if there's a rule complaint, he still handles it like the old XCFL way, takes his time, then approaches and says, hey, I think this guy did this, whatever. Love to see more activity out of Dave because I think he is a positive dude to have, in the league. So any activity we can get from anybody else is always good. Let's move through these last couple kind of quick. We got Zeth. Poor Zeth, dude.
Yeah.
Tough.
He got the fuzzy end of the lollipop.
Yeah,
I think for a fun love and just wants to play and have a grand old time guy, he got put in literally the worst spot.
Yeah. Me, Drew, and then he was probably hoping like Yoshi sucked, and then he just came out being a stud too. Poor Zeth, dude. It was, success. He did as good as he could. But that's so true. Like Zach just, dude, let's have a good one. And then he's like, what the fuck, dude? Like it's 40-0. It's the second quarter. I'm like, sorry, dude. Like, but just
his defense was fucking good though.
Dude, his defense is good, and he did good once he got the running back, Forrest Berry. His offense changed a little bit too. Roster building 6.5. And he didn't really do much trade wise. I think he kind of played the quarterback roulette of just signing a free agent every year after a while. But sportsmanship 9, adaptability. I think everything's pretty spot on there for Zeth at 55.
Great attitude, strong defensively.
There you go. That's Zeth in a box. All right, let's go to this. Will be an interesting one, Mr. Riot, dude. He's probably just waking up over there in a little bit.
He was the most fun to rank.
Dude, Riot had a good cycle. You can say what you want about the division, but Riot was fun. He was lighting up he tried to hold up that Brian Thomas was the best receiver in the league way too long because he was quickly passed by like 8 guys.
He is so much fun to have in the league, man.
Like we got to take, dude. Like sportsmanship 10 for sure.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Head-to-head rating 2, clutch 5, defense 6. Yeah, you could maybe give his offense a little bit of a bump. I think he did. The Knicks win.
He was inconsistent like crazy though. Like he was like one game he would look really, really good, and then the next game he's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, for sure. And that's always Riot. Riot's one, he's mad at Madden half the time, he's mad at himself the other half the time, he's mad at his opponent sometimes. Like it's but overall good cycle.
Hard to rank. Yeah. What do you think, Quacks, of those? Because you're in the FC.
I think another guy that probably his most successful cycle, no?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think offensively you can bump him a little bit. Maybe he held on to the Brian Thomas claim a little too far, but the dude did put up some numbers.
Hey,
I
Offensive
think
Player of the Year,
he
3 straight years, I
I think
think.
he had the ball a lot because he didn't really care much about the other side of the ball. So
Yeah.
maybe bump offense and drop defense a little bit, but there were he did put up a lot of like 40, 50-point games. I think he
Yeah.
learned what worked and he leaned into it.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, great guy to have in the league, no doubt about it. Glad he's back.
Yeah. And
Represent our
dude,
friends across the pond.
you can't overestimate the waking up at 6 a.m. his time to play games. Like, I know you guys both are West Coast time, so you guys make sacrifices too, but my wife would kill me if I woke up early and jumped on the video game. Like, if I was up and not cleaning the house or doing something productive when I was playing video games before work, she would divorce me and never talk to me again. So props to Riot because he did it with a newborn
Well,
baby as well.
yeah, and I mean, I think Van can probably level with me here, but I think the West Coast guys end up getting a short end of the stick because everyone operates so
Yeah, for sure.
universally in Eastern. So it's like we have to accommodate a little bit, and then it's 10 times more for Riot. So
I literally
I get it for
moved.
If
sure.
you weren't a good user, you could be in my division on the West Coast.
Like what 4 cycles ago, I specifically moved our draft time from 8 o'clock to 8:30 just so Van could get home from work in time for the draft. Like it was just like, got to do it for the West Coast guys. So
Yeah, I mean, you've already come accustomed to I have like a hour and a half that just never works.
yeah,
But then
try
I
to.
just, I got a flexible schedule otherwise.
Yeah, it's tough. I know, time zones. You're right though. Everything is like Eastern's. Everything is because I think 75 or 80% of our users are Eastern. All right,
Almost everybody.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's go. We got another rookie in the XCFL, Jacob. We still don't know if it's Jacob or Jacob, whatever. But another guy, a little disappointed because he fell off the face of the earth at the end of the cycle. As soon as he found out it was the last season, went bye-bye. And that is not good. Does not give me hope. Still have only posted once in chat. I had to DM him 50 times for his Hall of Fame vote. Not good. So activity when he was here, activity was great. He was in chat all the time. Sportsmanship, I think, is good too. Again, he's a young kid. Like he's our youngest member. So it's probably tough getting in a league with a bunch of old dudes where, but he did work with that tight end the first couple seasons. We only got to see him for what, 3 or 4 seasons, I think. Because
Tight end was so nasty too.
He played 68 games, so yeah. One playoff appearance, again, probably benefited from that division of CPUs and guac. But he, I think a good first cycle, 59 from Van's rankings. I think it's one of those things you just you figure out, okay, this league knows things. Like I need to broaden my play style and stuff. So this is a disappointing one for me. Boone coming up next. Longtime vet, XCFL Hall of Famer, trash cycle, activity all time low. Didn't win any games. Didn't make any cool prospect or Madden Gem players. Offense was horrific. Obviously joined midway through, but I don't have much positive to say to Boone, to be honest. About
if we had a pretzel rating, it'd be good, but I mean we don't. So
like it's a tough cycle to be a Hall of Famer and boast that you have a gold jacket and all this stuff, and you won a Super Bowl before. You got to give me something, dude.
Needs more activity and roster focus.
Yeah, he didn't. He tried. He drafted that one receiver, 99 speed, and then didn't even use him. I thought we were going to see. I thought I was going to have to talk to him about stats at a certain point, but then he just didn't use them. So
I think he had 75 change of direction though.
Yeah, change of direction is big. Let's jump from one disappointing to another disappointing user, Nairi. Left the cycle, came back, didn't really provide much. Good dude. Like the sportsmanship rating, I probably would say 9.5 is a very high. For
maybe he's just so used to losing.
Yeah, he's a nice dude. I wish he would almost take it a little more serious. Because Because Quacks, the one box score you sent, you were like, "What is Nairi doing?" And it was like we were like, "What? How? Who?" He had like 12 passing attempts, and then like 8 guys with like 3. I don't know what was going on, but it was like
He's out there, man.
confusing, dude.
He's out there.
And then he dragged like I was like starting random quarterbacks. I was like, "What? I don't know, dude." But I mean,
Like,
Nairi's a good dude. Oh,
was
he's
he
in
just?
chat. There he is. Hey,
I think
chill.
Hey, chill.
I think he was just in, you know what though? One good thing, at least he stuck the cycle out.
He didn't, but he did.
Oh, he didn't?
Left and came back. Got booted.
No,
Got booted from staff. Left the league. Came
oh,
back.
yeah. I was figuring it out, he says.
Yeah. No. Now he's a good dude though. I think when he's on his game, he's fun to play against. He's a fun person to have in the league. Just need to be on the game more, Nairi, for if you're listening.
Him and I have an understanding. We are going to be in the same division. He's fun to play. He's great.
Oh.
He's great banter. It's going to be. We have the division figured out.
Van saw the final record of 6-35 when he was back, so Van marked him down. All right, let's go. We got two
I
more.
have it on auto invite.
We got-
Anybody at 200 gets an invite.
We got two more here. This will be an interesting one because if we would have ended after like season 3 or 4, Doughboy might have been the best user, or one of the top users. He got a Super Bowl, it's his first full seat cycle of the XCFL. Came out and won a Super Bowl, made it to a second Super Bowl. Was roster building like crazy. Like it was a really good start of the cycle, and then job change. I think the lack of success started happening before the job change, but was kind of trending downward. But then the job change really messed it up. And he messaged me and said, "Hey, would you prefer I leave the league or just do what I can?" And I was like, "Just stick around, do what you can." So he was, open about what was happening over there. So it wasn't a total, just ditching us kind of thing. Um, but I think, he was dude, defensively, he was playing really well as a D line user, Quacks.
Yeah, I think he's one of the last remaining of that breed.
Yep.
Even like, I mean, I think VBD still sticks on the D line a lot, but even he's on a safety or linebacker from time to time. Doughboy was like
lockdown
Tide Pod levels, where like you could assign his guy at the beginning of the game and it would not change.
Yeah.
And somehow, he was creating mayhem. I think he was one of the guys who like traded for a bunch of studs right at the start and rode him to some really success, and then
it was as soon as as soon as all the bills came due and he had to let like 3 or 4 of them go, it went downhill fast. But his his
roster building
record pace too.
Oh, for sure. And like you can look at the roster building from a different perspective, right? He put a bunch of guys together at the right time. He won a Super Bowl. But then, I think he succumbed to like the too many 99s at once.
Yep. I would probably, it's the offense and defense is tough because his defense was good, but it wasn't really like, I think when you only use your D line, there's so many holes that good users can take advantage of. And then on the opposite side of the ball, I know you picked up on it, Quacks, and I did, and even Grizz did, but like, no offense, Grizz. But like if Grizz has figured out your plays you like and what you do, like he had the one play where he just blindly threw the RPO wheel route thing. Like it didn't matter if your user was over there, he was clicking the button and chucking it right away. And I think his offense was just so predictable that as the cycle went on, it was game over. So, but he won a Super Bowl. You can't knock a dude for winning a Super Bowl in his first cycle. So, let's go.
And it was a good run. It was a good run that he had on that Super Bowl.
Yeah. Last but not least, well, it actually might be the lowest score. KOTB, which is why I would have not put him at the lowest score, I don't think. But
I don't think he's the lowest. He's not the lowest score.
44 is the lowest.
No,
38. Nairi, second lowest.
There's no way I would have done that to him over Nairi.
But I think sportsmanship, he's great. I think activity, he's great as well. You can probably bump that one up. He built that cool little, which we're going to debut next cycle when the cycle kicks off, but a cool little like XCFL red zone type thing. I think roster building.
He's a great dude. He's a great dude.
Yeah, he's great for the league. I think he did play well some games this cycle too, though. I think he won 23 games.
He's got some nairi about him, like where you don't know if he's like taking it serious. Like he doesn't come out and say it, but you can just tell by the way he's playing. I mean, didn't he inherit Busy's roster?
Yeah, but Busy didn't do much there. That roster sat. Yeah, that
Busy
roster
didn't give a fuck.
No, that roster sat abandoned for a little bit too.
When Will Howard
it wasn't good because I remember not wanting to play the computer, and like 3 or 4 people had joined, passed up on the Steelers.
Oh yeah, everybody. Yeah, it was gross.
Will Howard was the starting quarterback for 7 seasons.
Yeah, I'm happy he's back because I know it was a big concern for him once college football is over and he lost his kind of like game time or day games he could play against computer. He was worried about coming back, but I think he did really well coming back. I think I'd probably bump his offense and defense up from threes. Success.
I played him at the end when he didn't care.
Yeah, no, I think he's a lot better user than he lets on. But yeah, I think it's just getting back into the league and kind of getting into the swing of things. So
right. No, that's what I don't think he tried. But if I have to reflect on just what I saw, that's the rating. But I don't think he's that low at all.
Well, let's pull up. We'll finish off here with our XCFL or your Vans XCFL awards. I'm gonna just put them all up on the screen and we can kind of go through them real quick. Yep. This is Vans picks for all of this. So you need to preface that. And then Quacks, if you want to give your opinion on who you would go with for these, you can. So best user overall, Van chose me, which is very kind. I don't know if I would agree, but I won't disagree. I think I needed to do more this cycle to earn that.
But remember, like that has everything that you do for the league as well.
Oh, okay. I mean, so not just
that's just highest number. That's just highest ranking, right?
Gotcha. Okay, never mind that. Okay,
that's the best. So the best user overall was the highest point total from the last chart.
All right, then I agree. Never mind. Best GM, he has Chaos. Quacks, who would you go with as best GM?
I don't think Chaos is a bad pick.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Are we just talking roster building?
Yeah, but the roster building has a pretty big umbrella.
Yeah. I think it's either Chaos or JMO for me for roster.
So I think
absolutely. Those are my 2 picks.
I think I would go. Yeah, it's hard to say the guy who won 3 Super Bowls wasn't the best GM, but I think I would also go JMO because I think JMO, dude, whether he trades for a player, whether he drafts a player, whatever it is, he kills it.
Dude, he's on another level.
Yeah, which
lets guys go at the right time. Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
I think I would make JMO best GM. I would also keep JMO draft wizard. I think trade bandit. I'd probably go Quacks just for.
Whoa, that shocks me.
I think
what?
I think
because of the Rob trade. Because of the Rob trade.
I think if we talk JMO, I don't think I only remember like one trade JMO made though. That's the only problem.
And that's the trade that JMO did versus Brapp. Sorry, versus John Bao with the defensive end.
Yeah, but that was, and then I mean he sent Kyle Pitts away, but everyone does that to DVD. I would say Quacks. Quacks made the most and the biggest moves. Whether it was multiple picks to move up, gave me the 5th pick to move back and grab a bunch of picks. Like I think I would go Quacks as trade bandit. Where would you guys go? Does anyone disagree on draft wizard?
No, I can't. I don't know how you could.
He did work,
dude. He was.
I think if Grizz had a little more.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
A little more staying power. He changed his mind too much, but if he stuck to the players that he picked,
he had a couple really good drafts.
Yeah.
The one was like legendary. The one he hit on, like that's a really good one.
The one with the tight end and the running back.
Yeah,
I think Turk was a better player than Worthy.
Oh yeah, he just wasn't in the right system with me.
Yeah, like just on paper.
Yeah,
and that's he got his wheel spin and all that.
Yeah,
but like I think Worthy was a once in a cycle prospect we saw in terms of, and Nick developed him well, but like even with the development, he was more well rounded than any of the other stud receivers we saw. And Turk was the same boat for running backs.
Yeah, I think he was a freak. And except I don't know if anyone saw the running back in the draft class right now that we didn't get to see.
Oh yeah, he's really good.
He's the greatest running back ever.
Of course.
But the greatest ever, not even close. But yeah. So that'd be interesting. Quacks, who's your trade bandit then?
Trade bandit, I would not give it to myself. I
See,
think volume wise, I was far and away made the most like high profile trades.
That's a tough one because it's hard to think back.
But trade ban is tough because I went through a lot of trades, but I mean, geez, we went 8 seasons, 9 seasons, whatever.
Yeah. Drew makes trades that help him immensely. Whether it was the Ronnie Jacobs, he grabbed the fast safety from Riot also. Like Drew made some really good trades. He grabbed Malik Neighbors and used him.
I think he's predatory.
He for sure is. And he only makes
I want to say Yoshi. But it feels weird because I gave him like 3 stud players throughout the cycle. I didn't actually trade him McCoy. I traded
Higgy.
But he ended up with Yoshi. So I give him credit for that, but he got Seawright, who was a stud receiver.
Burrows too.
And then
both your guys.
Burrows. Yeah.
Best play caller. I think that I don't know if I can go with myself because my little, if you want to call it a system, is pretty easy and straightforward. And if you watch one of my games, you watched all of them. It's figuring out.
Some of those drives you have, and I'll go back to it, where there's 18 seconds left and you got no timeouts. I've seen like 8 or 9 of those fucking games. You know what I mean? And I just think that's when you got to know not only to get to the sidelines, not only to use your freaking, your timeouts or if you have any left. I just think that I respect that kind of play calling more than anything else. And I've seen that a lot from you.
I think Nick is a really good play caller. I would not say he's like the least predictable play caller.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
I think those are 2 different things, and I don't think you necessarily need to be the most predictable or most unpredictable. Correct. You can't be the most predictable, but you're not that either.
I'm an open book, dude. I'm an open book. You know what you
I mean, when you see that fag at running back, it's not crazy. You're not like, whoa.
It's a screen or an angle or an inside zone.
In here. Oh, we got Don Coryell out here.
But because I did my offense. I led the league in points. I think 7 of the 8 seasons, maybe 6 of the 8, whatever it was. But I mean that could also be attributed to defensive short field, whatever, But I think you could go bracket like specifically play calling. You could go bracket. I'd also could put Drew up here.
I think if you took that play where it has a double seam and then a really lazy dig. A Brackett's playbook. He honestly, you know that one?
Brackett loves those like delayed routes and anything that acts a little different than it would normally act. But that's what matters though. Yep. Like that kind of shit is what slips through the cracks.
Because the problem is the AI never took the seam.
Yeah, you could go. Yeah, it was brutal. The quick throw to the seams were wide open this cycle. But you could specifically play calling. You could go Quacks. You could go Chaos. You can't go JMO.
I like what you guys said though earlier. Chaos knew what Madden did. I don't think
for
that
sure.
Means you're,
I was gonna say there's a big difference, and you can have both obviously, but football IQ and video game like Madden football IQ, because it's by no means does it mimic real life.
No.
You got to know, like, hey, this guy's supposed to be covering over. Yeah, this guy's supposed to be covering over here, but I know he's not covering over there, and he's actually gonna be right here. Because I think a lot of that play calling for me that comes into like, who are you hot routing? Who are you usering? The audibles you make, different things like that. So, but yeah, I think you do that. I think we already talked about earlier. John Baugh, best defensive play caller. I don't know if it's best defensive play caller or best defensive user, but
One and the same, kind of one and the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it's hard. It's hard to differentiate that.
yeah,
It's easier to differentiate that on offense.
Yeah.
I think defense. There's only so much you can do, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Not anymore. Not anymore.
60% of it is play calling. Oh,
Yeah.
that category is going to get way more important
Yeah.
next cycle, I think.
Oh yeah. Toughest out Yoshi, which is big to get a van. We got a Vanny. We got to name these awards, dude.
a Vanny,
A
yeah, a
Vanny.
Vanny. But I mean, you can't tell me when you saw him on your schedule when you need to win. You
Oh
went,
yeah,
oh,
for sure. He
like,
beat me a couple times, and I mean Drew.
Maybe we get Vanna White next year.
There
Is
you
she
go.
still around?
That would be. That would be. We can do it with AI now.
he's a little old for me.
Do a little projection.
Yeah.
She could present the awards.
A great idea, actually.
But who's another tough out? Like Yoshi, because when you think tough out, like you immediately get rid of like the top like 8-ish users, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
And you
I
find
totally
like the next guy who might not be, you know, in the playoffs every year, but a guy like, oh shit, this is not gonna be
I'm
easy
thinking
one.
Shovel. I'm thinking Shovel.
Yeah.
You know,
I think Hickey got dangerous down the stretch.
Yeah.
Or not Hickey, Willie with the
Willie.
Pats.
Yeah, dude. Willie kind of figured it out before he left.
no, he's not eligible.
Yeah, sorry, he shall not be named.
Most underrated, we got Shovel. I think that's I think those two, Shovel and Fat Jazz, those could kind of be moved around. Either one could take either of those. Most overrated, Brian. Dang, he's not even here anymore.
he surpassed the. He got the honorary not even around.
I broke a rule here.
Dang,
I was
why
like,
don't you speak to this one, Van?
Yeah.
I mean, it jumped off the fucking page at me.
Kind of a bummer. He didn't even.
Dude,
it was an Irish goodbye from Brian.
Yeah, which I was hoping like new Madden information dropping, he'd be like, hop back on Discord and be like, oh shit, I forgot I was in this league. Something. I hope everything's okay because that was weird. We literally just disappeared. Like he scheduled his week 1 game against the computer and then never showed up ever again.
I think so.
Yeah, I think we all saw. We all sort of knew how the vacation was going to play out.
Yeah,
I don't think that that wasn't rocket science.
No.
But we also figured he'd come back for the new season.
Yeah,
I think that guys who win on a consistent basis really struggle when they don't.
Yeah, I think Brian's tough though because he's a football mind and a video game football mind. Like, and his biggest downfall is his roster building. He doesn't. He kind of a little Chad like in that aspect, where he just kind of shows up and whatever's on the field he plays with.
And he doesn't know any of the nuances like playbooks, like play sheets. Sorry.
No,
he's got no clue.
He messages me and asks what I'm doing, and then I just tell him what playbooks I'm using, and he posts them.
That's probably good that he doesn't.
Yeah, I think if he, and obviously he's got a small baby, but like I think, and working football coach, whatever. It's if he could put more into the league. We saw Brian in his prime of the XCFL. He was so tough, dude. When he was like committed to the league and had not married, no kids. Brian was
no cat.
Dude, literally spreadsheets of what everyone was doing. Like it was like coaching. He would pull out his coaching scouting spreadsheets and have everybody shit down. And you'd be like, oh, this is impressive or concerning. Biggest riser and biggest faller. Riot as your biggest riser. VBD is your biggest faller.
Yeah. I looked at this list for 2 weeks before I sent it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I still like Riot for sure. VPD. Only because VPD was so good before.
Yeah, the VVD part makes sense though, because you had high hopes for what he would do when you kind of saw how the divisions and the conferences shook out. It was kind of like, okay, this could be one of a big cycle for him, and it was not, unfortunately. Riot, yeah, I agree with Riot as biggest riser. Quacks, do you have anything else on those two?
No, I think, you got to just give it to somebody who had a strong cycle that had a real strong one before. So. And then VBD, I don't know. I think for me, VBD was sort of the same VBD. I don't think he changed a ton.
Yeah, I think past
And I
cycles
think
more playoff success. I think is what got him.
I think when they nerfed halfback angles, that really hurt.
yeah, I wouldn't say I don't know. I don't remember what VBD's what do you call it? Not flexibility, but
Adaptability.
adaptability score was, but I would not put him very at the high end of that one.
Yep, it's another one similar to Doughboy where you can kind of figure it out. Fan gave himself choke artist of the year.
I didn't have the I'm getting old, I'm getting nice. I didn't have the guts to give anyone else to this, man. Like I don't and it's true though, to a degree. Like I don't disagree, but I'm not gonna I don't think I would throw that award out. I don't think that's very productive.
It's a tough one because you almost have to find a good user who is consistently like you could make a case for me, I think, as choke artist of the year, even though I did win my Super Bowl, but then I never even got back to another one. And you have
I think
me
winning a
as
Super Bowl takes you off that list.
yeah, but you have me up here as the highest rated and best 10 on offense and best play caller, and I went to one Super Bowl and then didn't really have much playoff success. So like,
yeah, but
the
then you look at
games.
you look at the division though, and how many runs you made towards it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not giving it to myself. I'm just saying there is a case to be made.
No, I get it. And then I just wanted to say something about the league MVP. I just don't think, honestly, dude, that enough of us say thanks for everything that you do. Like so much with the kids. Like we've seen people drop out after a kid and blah blah blah. And you know what? You have 8 kids now. I don't know. 9? I mean, and you deal with like these key parties on your street with everybody,
Yes.
and you still end up showing up, man. And I know that the one example that you set for everybody is you're consistent. You're the reason why the league's still around, man. So there's absolutely you'll get this award every fucking year, buddy. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you. It takes a village, and I think we have a good solid core. I think I hope everyone can kind of look back, especially after team draft, and you see the user rank point totals because I'm showing them this year for sure. And
That better have just got me fucking 50. What I just said.
Well, I just hope because really, like, what it comes down to is if the more each person does, it makes it more fun for everybody else. And even if the game sucks, it's more enjoyable to be a part of, which is what it used to be. The XCFL used to be a place where everyone's tweeting, everyone's doing articles, everyone's doing content. And like the last couple cycles in college football, like our pace has increased and that's fun, but like the stuff, like the filling of the league is kind of drained out and it makes it so much easier to give up on and leave, I think, for users that would normally stick it out and be like, oh, I have to keep my spot in this league. So I hope we can get back to the point where, it's very hard to leave the league because there's no guarantee you're getting back in. But I also think it's just how, the ages of all of us. And I think the whole aspect of video games and video game leagues is not as popular as it used to be. But we'll see. I think us as a league, we have to adapt to whether it's changing some rules, changing how things are done. We're already trying to shrink the rule book a little bit just to make it more welcoming for new people who join the server. So, but no, I appreciate the kind words you said. I think we have a really good admin team now, which really makes it a lot easier where I don't have to do everything, which is great. So I appreciate Quacks, Bracket, Guac sometimes. John, jumps in because we had so many different things set up of upgrade this, downgrade this, do this. So
it was a pretty like Overwatch heavy cycle, I would say.
Yes. And
mostly because we caught shit too late and we just had to sort of come up with how to make this work.
Yep. And that's where that's why the more users we can keep cycle to cycle, the better, because it's less people to worry about, especially with all the new stuff that Madden keeps adding. So, but we can go ahead and round this up. We've been on for 2 hours, so hopefully it gives everybody a little taste. Beta's out now. We got award show coming up. When do we have that? A week?
Tomorrow.
Oh shit! Yeah. Tomorrow.
If you guys didn't have enough award, awards tonight.
Oh my god, that's tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow. We'll see.
That will probably be shorter than 2 hours, I would guess.
Yeah, I think we'll go through that pretty quick. And then obviously I was thinking team draft. Team draft is in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
28th. 8 p.m. Get rid of the kids, get rid of the wife, girlfriend, whatever. And then, dude, it's from then on, it's starting to look at your opponents and figure out, who's for real and how are you happy before you win. So we still got to name the last user, but thank you both for hopping on. I know it was a long one. Thanks everybody who hopped in. I think we peaked at like 15 users in chat, which is always great for a Saturday night during the summer when Madden is not going on. So stay tuned. We'll have a bunch of different things coming on, previewing things. Like I said, award show, rule changes, the whole shebang. So we are out of here. Thank you guys, and I guess we'll see you tomorrow. So we will see you guys later. Appreciate it. See you, fellas.